Greetings of the day. My name is Dhananjay Gokhale. You can address me as DG. I am presenting the complete model that I had developed almost 14, 15 years ago, Leadership Strength Inventory, LSI. So allow me a few minutes to explain that entire model to you. Leadership Strength Inventory, and of course later the development. This is not an assessment as such. At the end of it, we get to see the inventory of the leadership competencies, leadership skills. Now, the definition of the strength is this is my definition. I have crafted it and it has helped me for more than 2.5 decades. Strength is a competency applied with excellence, consistently, and intentionally. Competency means ability to perform. Somebody is using that ability, exploiting the ability, and performing it consistently, intentionally, and towards excellence, drive for excellence. And that competency then turns around into a strength. And therefore, the focus of this entire leadership strength inventory is not on the assessment. And most importantly, we should never assess a human. We should assess, if at all we want to assess the competency or the use of the competency. So this entire model is based on uh, creating a constructive inventory for the strengths. How it works, let me explain it to you. There are 48 competencies that I have described. Out of this, we will describe the first competency. Short name for this particular competency is vision articulation. Vision is extremely important parameter for any person who is leading self, others, and even a big or small organization. The direction is end state. In my model, there are 8 directions. One of the directions is end state. Leadership verbs. Again, this is my concept. Verbs acting in the directions. Envision is one of the verbs. There are 6 such verbs. So, in the direction end state, verb envision, short name of the competency is vision articulation, and the full description of this particular competency is craft a shared vision, ability to craft a shared vision, articulate a compelling and vivid picture of the desired future that provides meaning and direction. Now, this is a definition of a competency. Now, competency, when it used intentionally, keeping in mind drive for excellence or with the drive for the excellence, and consistently, this would turn around in the strength. And we are here to understand the quality and the quantity of this strength and how it works. The major focus always in my model is interviewing. So, if I am interviewing a person to understand the strength, the quality, and the quantity of it, I ask a question. For example, can you tell me about a time when you had to define or you had to communicate a future goal for your team or department? And what was the situation? How did you go about painting the picture? This is a question. I believe in interaction and people speak in the interaction. Now, the answers for these questions are multifold, and I have the data for past so many years. Based on the answers and based on the overall perspectives of the development, I have created a scale that is 5 point scale. When I rate or when I score one, that means I don't know. That is the concept that particular person has expressed, or this person doesn't know the competency. Or score two means knows but can't perform. Score three means knows, performs, that is, does, but needs support. Score or rating four means knows fully, does well, can do well, but does only to fit for the compliances. That person may or may not, mostly may not, improve certain things which should be improved. That person will do something that has been told to be done. And finally, score five is for similar to four, but here is the difference. That person knows, does well, and continuously keeps improving, and therefore can mentor. Now, let's take one example. For the same question, how scores will uh, change based on the answers. I'll actually show you the answers, and these are the answers which I have heard, I have recorded. So, one answer that I got for the same question, that Uh, the answer was the company's vision is set by the board. And now this is the question that I've asked for a person in the third from the top layer. So you may feel that this is impractical answer, but I have heard this answer. Now again, I'm not condemning the person. If you are not assessing the person, there is no question of condemning, neither appreciating also. What we say in this particular competence element, this person is unaware. That doesn't mean in all the competencies of the leadership, this person is unaware. So there are out of 48, this is just one in which this person has crafted or given this particular answer to me. What is that answer? The company's vision is set by the board. My role is to ensure my department meets its annual operating plan targets. I'm not sure what else you mean by crafting the vision at my level. While listening to this, you may feel, how come this is possible at the leadership level? It is possible. Now, when I hear this kind of answer, you will see now what is score two. Score two means knows but can't perform. So this person knows, I understand that a leader should articulate a future state. Not only that, I have tried to talk about being the best or industry leadership in town halls or all hands meeting, but it feels generic. I struggle to make it tangible and meaningful for my team in a way, but I often get it often gets lost amidst the quarterly business review. So this person knows the importance of leader crafting the vision and so on, but not able to do. He's trying, but not able to do. Now, listen to this particular answer, and you will see why it is three. For our new 3 year strategy, so this person knows the strategy. I worked with a consultant. This person knows that I need to work with a consultant to develop a vision narrative. The vision is a story, end state. So, so he knows this. This person knows that, and it was powerful. I communicated it in a series of roadshows. So this person knows that once communicating once will not be sufficient. Using the slide deck that we built, the team responded well, but I'm not confident I could create something that resonant for the next strategic cycle. So this person knows, but needs support. And now see the answer for rating four. This is beautiful answer. I mean, score four is tricky. Yes, it is a key part of the annual strategic planning cycle. So this person, she knows that where it takes birth, what is the cause of it, why it is required. We have a standard template for vision mission slide. So this she knows that this person knows that, and it gets updated, rolled out. He is well kept on the information about various methodologies for crafting the vision and everything. It is important for investor relations. It is important for internal communications. Team knows what to expect and it aligns with the corporate branding. So this person knows fully, can do well, but she is doing only for the compliance. Hmm? And you will understand why am I saying so. When you will see the answer for the score five, you will see the difference between four and five. Four and five is a difference of attitude, and most of the people who get score for the given competency four, they have been to five. So it is a reverse swing. That is what the patented, or that is what is the copyrighted part. So the movement of the person is always one, two, three, five, four. Now, movement from five to four is dangerous for the organization. So one, two, three, five. So pushing people from one to three to five, but avoiding people from moving to five to four, because a person demonstrating a competence level four has once been in level five. And that's what the data for past 14 years talks a lot. Now, here is the answer for the score five. I led the transformation of our division from a product centric to a customer solution model. I didn't just announce it, I built the vision by synthesizing the market data, customer pain points, our unique capabilities into simple, powerful story. So that this person knows, like the person who got scored four. Both of these guys know exactly. She also knew this. He also knows, right? Uh, we don't sell widgets. We guarantee our clients operational uptime. So that person knew exactly what is he up to. This narrative now guides our R&D investments, hiring in partner selection. In fact, I have since coached my leadership team on this process, and they are now cascading similar aligned visions into their functions. Look at that. This fellow has a mentoring ability, right? And therefore, I said, a strength is a competency which is intentionally being used, intentionally, consistently being used for excellence. So we end up using competencies in many manner. Some competencies we use just for the sake of it, somebody is pushing us to do that, etc. But when we start using the competency intentionally, consistently, to drive for excellence, what turns around is the strength. And this entire model is about strength inventory, leadership strength inventory. Now let me show you the scorecard. If you see, and this is my method of scoring. uh, this is department and the superior name. So let's say I'm interacting with Raghu. His name is Raghu. I'm interacting with that person, and it's not that I ask question one and two and three and four. It is very, very informal talk. And from that informal interactions for the which runs for 40 to 50 minutes, sometimes it goes to 1 hour, we can rate. And I also give that request that person to rate. So if you see this column, DG rating, it's my rating. Now you know now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you see this column, 5, 5, 4, 4, 5, it is rating by Raghu to given to self. Now you see the direction, end state. This is what we are discussing, vision articulation. Now, this is the gentleman who had given the answer which I showed you for rating 3. Knows, does to some extent, but needs support, right? So this is 3. Now, this is really situation. Now, look at that. This is beautiful. This 5 is true. I know this person for this particular competency, stakeholder society, or building the consensus, reconciling and unifying pattern, like actively meditate, actively mediate differing interests and build consensus to form a cohesive and collaborative stakeholder society. Now, that is very important for a leader. Now, this person is capable of. And now, since I remember everything, all these are factual data. So I knew that this person is a gem. But due to certain reason, this person has opted not to be proactive. He says that I am doing something that has been told to me. So now this is not the loss of him alone. This is the loss of an organization. So this strength inventory tells a lot about it. In fact, like I said, preventing the flow from 5 to 4 is really important for an organization. And now if you see the last part, this is 26. Serial number 26. There are total 48. Serial number 26 works in the direction called individual, right? End state, stakeholders, streaming team, individual, self energy. These are the components of the direction. So, individual in this competency, short name is reconciling the goals. And the description of this entire competency is bridging, ability to bridge personal and organizational goals. A beautiful competency. These are all crafted by me, and it has helped me a lot, individual life, professional life, as well as it has helped me for setting the corporate connections as well, making corporates happy, business happy. uh, Ability to work one on one to align individual objectives and values with those of the team and the organization. This gentleman keeps 5 years, and really this fellow is a mentor there. So if you see, this person 5 means Raghu can be, should be a mentor for others. Those others in the leadership team, for this particular competence element, if they have rating 1, 2, 3, this person is the best person. Raghu is the best person for mentoring those people. Now, this is the biggest advantage. If you ask me, it is not the assessment, it is actually the strength. And we create a community of practitioners. Somebody has develop the competency with intentional, consistent use, keeping in mind the excellence, and therefore that person has he is demonstrating the strength. Now we can use that strength because others also have competencies. I am of the opinion that each one of us has all these 48 competencies. Problem is not having the competency. Competencies are present. The issue or the contribution is extent, intent of the use of the competencies. And that's the reason I cannot judge an individual. I should not assess an individual. Every individual will fall on ratings 1 to 5 in different competence elements. So, uh, just to quickly see the consolidation, I mean, we'll not spend much time on this. Now, this fellow, Raghu, if you see this, now for Raghu, if you want to see score, these are percentage, how it is and all, we'll discuss later. But when it comes to end state, the best portion is 60%, 67%. If you see that individual self and energy, overall, this fellow scores 73%. And if you remember, this fellow will be a mentor. He's a mentor in the direction individual only, in the competence of bridging the goals, personal and the organization. That's how it goes. And of course, these are the various directions and these are the various verbs. Now, here is an example of the other two people also. One is Kapil and Pradnya. These are factual names. Only thing is that I'm not communicating the organization, obviously, for confidentiality. So these high. Now see this. Uh, this lady, if you see individual, 53, 33. So now this is individual overall direction. If you go into the depth, we'll understand the least strength of this person. I'll never say weakness. I'll say least strength. We will find somebody who has that competency as a strength, and then we'll match this couple. Okay, okay, look, you need to learn few things from him. And surprisingly, most of the time it's a give and take relationship. So even this lady has high strength in one or more competence elements out of those 48. So this is how it entire grows. Now, uh, let's move forward. Uh, Overall, again, this is a presentation from the detail to high level. You can see this now. When it comes to Raghu, uh, overall skill by calculation is high, fit for the role, closely fit. So this person is fit for that particular role. Pradnya is not fit for the role that is being given to her. Right? So this is how we can come across. And then overall organization inventory. The beauty of this particular model is obviously organization is a uh, integrated sum of an individual. I cannot develop the organization. Organization gets developed. So actual development happens at the individual level. So we must pay attention to the individual leader. So with the help of this leadership inventory, the strength inventory, we also understand how this organization is, right? And now if you see this organization is uh, where they will have to work immediately, if you see end state portion and the team portion, this 47, 46%, you get to see the overall part. So overall direction average of this particular, even though I'm saying organization, actually the set of people whom I have interacted. So the overall average is 53%. Now, this particular organization or this team of, no, this data is for the leadership team of one of the plants of one of the organizations, and 12 people I have interviewed. So this data is from the universe of 12 uh, for that particular plant. And at that particular location plant, so if I consider that plant as an organization, then they are wonderful. Those 12 people collectively are wonderful. So this is the organizational reconciliation. The 65%, 62, 63, 60, 63, 60, 62. This is organizational. So that doesn't mean all 12 are excellent when it comes to this particular competency. For example, build consensus. No, out of 12, 3 or 4 may be very weak or least strength in this, but collectively as 12, they are wonderful. However, collectively as 12, this is the set of areas where we need immediate attention. Once again, this doesn't mean that all 12 are extremely least competent or least strength. No, one or two people are wonderful in this area as well. For example, ensure sustainability or shielding the team. I know there are two people who are amazingly competent. However, collectively, these 12 people score 27%. So, immediate coaching is needed in these four competencies: ability to shield the team from external distractions and volatility, actively managing the team's energy, and focusing and collective well-being. We have to work on this. So this is, I told you the definition of the strength. Fundamentally, it is a competency. The use of the competency. The use of the competency is understood via the interaction, and based on that, individual strength inventory is created. Based on that, organizational strength inventory is shown, and this is how it goes. Now the question comes in: what is the method? The method that I go ahead with is pure interview, absolute informal interaction. I prefer in person, but I have conducted virtual interviews also by using Zoom and other collaborative platforms. Now, why interviews? Because many organizations has asked me earlier, ki, why don't you use some tools and for example, MCQs or questionnaires. If you really ask me, that MCQ misses the human element. It fails to create the bonding, and I personally feel, it's my personal view, it is inhumane to ask somebody to answer. Then, based on that, we will say, this is what is your strength is, and this is what is your weakness is. I really don't appreciate this. You have to interact. It's a human life which is sitting in front of you. You need to see that life, and based on that, we can see that, look, this is the strength. Of course, with the mutual understanding that this is what is the strength is all about. And on the other side, people are smart, and when we deal with the people who have 15 or 20 plus years of experience, they are pretty smart. Cracking the MCQs is not a big deal for these guys. And when AI is around, it will not give me the. So basically, the core objective is discovering the strength. And what matters is openness and trust. Unless they trust me, unless they see my aura, my behavior, my speech, very transparent, they will not open up. And if they don't open up, it's not they who is at fault, or there is not they who is at loss. It is we collectively, the society of the organization, which is at loss. And therefore, this, and for last 14, 15 years, I have seen people speaking so much, uh, very transparently, very openly. They openly admit so many things. They share their expertise. In fact, I have seen amazing contributions by, I have requested, keep, why don't you share this with everybody else, their expertise. Sometimes they have reciprocated to that. Sometimes, especially number four, they said, it's okay, I mean, leave it. And power of person interaction is always the best. It's actually that personal interaction helps in building the real ties, actually, and you get a true, holistic, honest, transparent picture. Of course, one has to pay attention to what ifs also. One of the what ifs that many people or the leaders or the L&D teams or the need initiator ask me, what if people don't open up? Of course, that's a quite possible uncertainty risk involved in that. It's a proven call and this is again based on the method, processes, and the data that I'm communicating. My method is making other side speak, not to assess but to know. Moment my focus is to know, the other side let me know that. Always it has happened. Of course, some people start speaking within couple of minutes. Some people it takes 4 to 5 minutes. I still remember one incident where that person was absolutely calm and quiet for almost 10 minutes. He was giving, hardly 1 or 2 words as an response. But uh, at 10th minute, he opened up. There was some matter. I mean, there are a lot of stories that I can, share with you, but we don't have that much time. It is a proven solution. Now, most important part is that there are four critical things that we must pay attention to in this case, and this is no tolerance zone. Absolutely no tolerance zone. I'll tell you what is this all about, and on many aspect, I take the um, written agreements on these aspects. So I'll show you that one by one by one. First, most important aspect is uh, total transparency. And I conduct a kickoff meeting, 25 plus 20 minutes. Total 45 minutes is dedicated to this. Whatever questions, doubt, apprehensions, challenges, whatever they ask, I present the data and I say that look, this is what this will be doing. And for last 14 years, this kickoff meeting is a key success factor. It has always done. We are transparently communicate. Second important parameter is delinking from appraisal. And this is something I need promise from the leader, from the L&D team, from the personnel HR teams that come what may, this should never be connected to the appraisal. And I must share one incident. In past 14 years, there were two incidences. I must confess that there were two incidences where a person, individual in that organization, totally spoiled. The disbenefit consumer was never me. The disbenefit consumer were never the people who left the organization. The disbenefit consumer was the organization itself. I tried my best to convince. At times, I had used my power. Although I was an external fellow, I used that. I said, avoid doing this. Although your intentions are good, the result will be devastating. This person said, no, we will make use of it. It didn't happen. And therefore, I'm extremely clear on this front that if we really want to make use of it to the most contributory manner, it must get dealing from the appraisal. The only way to dealing it from the organization is pay attention to only on the strength, use those strength to cultivate least or lesser strengths of others to the higher strength. If you follow that mechanism, it has always blossomed. There should be a safe space. What do you mean by safe space? At times, few of the managers of these managers, so few say vice president wants to know what is some insight from the general manager. People try and ask me, how did the interview go? I always say that which interview? Because moment I say, wow, it went well, that person will ask me, can you share? So moment I say, I didn't conduct any interview. The vice president, senior vice president, director, managing director understand that out of human curiosity, these people ask. But that's a safe space in their presence and out of their presence also. Couple of organizations leaders asked me, can we be present during the interview? I said, if you are present, then it is totally spoiled. They will not speak. They will always lie. And they will lie to an extent that you will never understand that they're lying. So these are things. And fourth, important part again, these are the four pillars of the success of this particular model is clarity of the purpose. It was made extremely clear that the goal was to know the grades of the competencies, in a way to know the strength inventory, not to judge the individual. And even before the interview also, I always communicate that are you clear on this? Is it clear? If you have any questions, I reserve 7 to 8 minutes for questions on the model even before the interview. So this is what has always helped me. in this model, and it has helped many organizations. Few to list NIIT. NIIT comes from the learning domain. Why I am communicating the multi-domain. It's leadership is a game of psychology. Leadership is a game of people. So domain really doesn't matter. Some people, some organizations say that how come domain doesn't matter? Domain does matter when it comes to the targets, when it comes to the sales, when it comes to the technology, when it comes to the hiring, everything. But once I am a leader, the leader knows the domain. Obviously, being a leader, this person knows the domain. For the competency focus and the strength, what I need to know is the human who is speaking with me. And what that person needs to know that a human speaking with that person, not to judge. Moment that is clear. Rest all the principles remain same. And it is my experience, and these are the organizations. NIT, one side is NIT, whereas the other side is Honeywell. Honeywell, they are into aviation business. I dealt with Honeywell aviation. Sgar Energy, they are into solar, whereas Kirloskars, they are into irrigation power. SKF, they are into bearings. Thermax, again power projects. Rieter, textile units. Sulzer, renewable energy. Lupin Pharma, Armstrong, they are robotics. Basically, this model has been successfully used over 14 years, providing organizations with the real assessment, a real assessment. Because we cannot simply hire and fire people. Even if we have money or otherwise, it is difficult. And at this level, we may think of hiring and firing at the last mile developers and the last, but even that is difficult. So the leaders who has actually invested their ideas, however mature or immature they are, but the entire organization is a recipe of their thoughts, their aspirations, their imaginations. So it is difficult to simply hire and fire people. Not possible. Transformation is something which is we always look forward for. So it is a powerful tool, and like I said, I record all the interviews .mp3, and each individual knows it. And that's where I say initially people don't believe that. How come people allow you to record? The only answer is because they trust me. 14 years, hundreds of interviews. People, why? Because this recording never goes to any organization. Recording goes to that person immediately. .mp3 immediate recording. I pass it to them. Even if on Zoom, I pass the audio recording to that. Share, download, move. So the beauty is, it's not the inventory. I have so many feedbacks from so many people that this entire interaction that happened for 45 minutes or 60 minutes, it has helped them. Some of them had called them as audio self-portrait. So few matured organizations where L&D people really contribute well, they have said this has helped us to cultivate the grounds of receptivity. Cultivate now our programs, development programs, executive development programs, or top management leadership development programs, or otherwise, it has been so useful because they are now more receptive and they have understood exactly what is the case because they knew that it is them who this entire model is helping. So this is the part. So as a next step, I would say this will work for your organization also because it frames the leadership in actionable terms. It is proven methodology. It is a rigorous inquiry with a compassionate curiosity. I always say that I am curious, yet compassionately I ask how the things are happening. Uh, it is data driven, it is transparent, and fundamentally, it has built a culture of mentoring, which an organization, especially the leaders, should always cultivate. So, if you ask what is the next step, uh, in fact, I would be happy. I would be honored if we can have a brief follow up on this. I would be happy if you go through this entire video. Of course, if at all we are moving forward, then we will have to specifically calibrate the competencies for the organization. In fact, I present it to the the team and say that which of these competencies you feel not required. So far, it has never happened that any organization said, no, this is not required, because that's what I have crafted based on my experience. And most of the time, all 48 are taken care of. But some organizations do tell me that these three are important, or this set is important. Of course, during the interview, I pay attention to that. I would love to know your views, your aspirations, and your visualization uh, for the transformation. And uh, that's all. I mean, thanks a lot for allowing me to present it to you. So this is what is LSI, Leadership Strength Inventory. Thank you so much.